Robbie Neilson, Swanee. Robbie Neilson for a third stint at Hearts. Are you having that? John McGlynn, obviously, second favourite, 2-1. Stephen Robinson, last night on the show, Keith Jackson pointed out that Stephen Presley, who's there at 4-1, he would be ready to answer the call, perhaps. He mentioned, obviously, Derek McInnes as well. But who do you guys see as being the likely next Jambo's boss?
We talked about this last night, didn't we? I mean, it's what way they want to go about it, and it sounds to me like they're all in on the analytical side of it. So I think that'll be what the computer throws up. I think that's the way they're going to go, or else why get involved in it in the first place? You know, and I'm pretty certain that Tony Bloom is not going to invest all the money that he's going to invest to then have his systems ignored. I would be.
Yeah. That's fair.
I'd be surprised if that was the case, but we just have come to not really know what's going to happen at Hearts, haven't we?
Mark Fairfield says John McGlynn, surely. Burnsy, I mean, John McGlynn, Robbie Neilson for a third spell again, like Steven Gerrard. Just personally, to me, the
Hearts fans never forgave Robbie Neilson for Hibs winning the cup.
Aye.
And so he's on the back foot as soon as he goes back in, and that's not Robbie's fault. But that would be how it would. That just you're starting off on a bad note. It's hard enough starting off when you've got everybody at your back. I couldn't see that.
Nah, me neither. Well, I mean, do you think, Burnsy, would it be a kind of, for want of a better phrase, a Hearts man, a kind of British coach, or a more kind of continental Jimmy Thielen sort of take that you think could maybe sort Hearts out?
I think this time it'll be another. I think it'll be somebody with strong. Spoke to someone earlier on, and the analytics will be strong in this one. I'm told it'll be 75% analytics and then 25% involvement with the board in terms of this appointment. So both aspects will be there. I think, and I know they're still taking applications. The applications will get put forward to the board. They'll be run through the analytics to see where they stand, and if any of these people will take it to the next stage, sort of thing. But I think certainly they are looking at the domestic market, and well, who would you say just now is the best in the domestic market? Obviously, Brendan Rodgers is not going to become Hearts manager, is he? But who out there's been successful? I would be surprised if Stephen Robinson doesn't come in the mix this time. I really would. The job he's done at St Mirren, win ratio, getting him into Europe, I think he might come into the equation this time because he's been shortchanged quite a few times, and I know St Mirren fans will be throwing things at the screen just now, call me for everything, but I wouldn't be surprised if Stephen Robinson comes into the equation this time.
I think he'd make a really good Hearts manager, Swanee. And I mean, top 6 for 3 seasons in a row with St Mirren. You can't overlook. I mean, that's really impressive.
Absolutely outstanding.
Aye.
The work Stephen Robinson's done, and if you actually consider, some of the situations he's had to deal with, it might have been, I think it was a couple of seasons ago, and it was so many cuts being made, and the club just had to do it. And Stephen was dealing with, I can remember talking to one big barely any coaches, and there was guys doing, in the 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, just constant working, non-stop. What he's been able to do at that football club is remarkable.
Yeah.
And again, it goes back to the Callum McGregor thing. Take it for granted now how good Stephen Robinson's going to be. And that in itself is an ultimate compliment that there were St Mirren. I'm not saying St Mirren fan that. I don't want to speak for St Mirren fans because I don't know. But you get the impression that you kind of be slightly disappointed if they didn't make top 6. That's remarkable.
Yeah.
When you think of the big city clubs and Celtic, Rangers and Aberdeen, that he can have them in that position all the time. Other guys have come and gone. They've had good spells, then bad spells. This isn't a one-off. Stephen Robinson did it at Motherwell as well.
Yeah.
Remarkable. And to me, he screams a Northern Ireland manager.
I mean, he got Motherwell and that into Europe and that as well. I mean, he's
cup finals.
His level is as good as anyone. And I know people talk about his football, right? But he works to a budget. So if he's got more money, he's got better quality players, he'll change and adapt.
Exactly. That's what we talked about with Sean Dyche, Scott.
This is it's football snobbery again with a lot of people. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because he plays this certain way at St Mirren. Used to say that he won't change when if he gets a bigger job. You know what I mean? Because as it stands, he can only work with what he's got and make the most of it, and he does. Gets every penny out of it. You know what I mean? He's done a sensational job.
Do you,
And
do,
what